The unexpected revelation. The lecture hall at the prestigious Galactic Academy buzzed with chatter as students from across the cosmos gathered for a highly anticipated xenobiology seminar. Among them was Zara, a blue-skinned humanoid from the planet Illyria, with luminous eyes that reflected her unyielding curiosity. Her vibrant green hair was neatly tied back, a stark contrast to the diverse crowd of alien scholars around her. Despite the noise, Zara remained focused, eager to learn more about the various species that populated the galaxy. Zara had always been fascinated by the peculiarities of different life forms, but none intrigued her as much as the humans. These strange, pinkish bipeds from a backwater planet called Earth had only recently made contact with the wider galactic community, yet they were already causing a stir. Known for their rapid technological advancements and unpredictable behavior, humans had become a hot topic of discussion. As Zara took her seat, she overheard a group of human male students chatting loudly a few rows ahead. Their boisterous laughter and playful banter made her cringe. How could such a primitive and uncultured species have gained admission to the academy? She thought to herself. The room fell silent as Professor Rax, a wizened old reptilian from the planet Serpentine, slithered up to the podium. His scales shimmered under the lights, and his forked tongue flicked out to taste the air. "Greetings, students," he rasped, his voice commanding respect. "Today, we will discuss the reproductive habits of various sentient species. Our focus will be on a rather peculiar case study, humans." Zara leaned forward eagerly, her pen poised over her notepad. Finally, she would get some answers about these perplexing creatures. The professor tapped a button on the podium, and a holographic image of a human male appeared, slowly rotating for all to see. Zara's eyes widened as she took in the muscular physique, so different from the lithe, graceful males of her own species. Human males are unique in that they are always fertile, Professor Rax explained, his tone serious. They have no mating season and are constantly driven to seek out mates. This insatiable drive is believed to be a result of their high testosterone levels and aggressive nature. Murmurs of shock and disbelief rippled through the lecture hall. Zara's jaw dropped open. Always fertile, constantly seeking mates. It seemed too absurd to be true. She glanced over at the human males again, seeing them in a new light. Their confidence, their swagger, was it all just a manifestation of their relentless reproductive drive? A tentacled student from the planet Frex raised a hand. Wouldn't such a constant mating drive be detrimental to their species? How do they find time for anything else? An excellent question, Professor Rax nodded. While it may seem counterintuitive, this constant drive has actually been a key factor in human success. Their aggressive, risk-taking behavior has allowed them to explore, innovate, and conquer at an astonishing rate. Zara's mind reeled as she tried to process this information. The more she learned about human males, the more intrigued she became. There was something unsettling yet fascinating about them. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she knew that this revelation was only the beginning of her journey into understanding these enigmatic beings. As the lecture continued, Professor Rax delved into the intricacies of human courtship rituals and social dynamics. Zara took notes diligently, but her thoughts kept drifting back to the human males in the room. They were so different, so unpredictable, and yet, there was an undeniable magnetism about them. When the seminar finally ended, Zara gathered her belongings and hurried out of the lecture hall, eager to clear her head. But as she stepped into the crowded corridor, she found herself face to face with one of the human males from earlier. Up close, he was even more imposing than she had realized. He towered over her, his broad shoulders and chiseled jawline radiating an aura of raw, primal masculinity. "Hey there, Blue," he said with a grin, his deep voice sending shivers down her spine. "Name's Clark. Couldn't help but notice you staring at me during the lecture. Like what you see." Zara's cheeks flushed a deep indigo. "I wasn't staring," she stammered, trying to regain her composure. "I was just taking notes." Clark chuckled, leaning in closer. "Sure you were, sweetheart. Well, If you ever want a more hands-on lesson in human anatomy, you know where to find me." With a wink, he sauntered off down the hall, leaving Zara breathless and more confused than ever. Part of her was repulsed by his brazen flirtation, but another part couldn't deny the electric thrill that had coursed through her at his proximity. As she made her way back to her dorm room, Zara's mind churned with conflicting emotions. She had always prided herself on her logical, scientific approach to life, but something about these human males awakened a primal, irrational side of her that she didn't quite understand. Flopping down on her bed, Zara stared up at the ceiling, trying to make sense of it all. She knew she should stay far away from creatures as volatile and unpredictable as humans, and yet she couldn't shake the feeling that her journey of discovery was only just beginning. Cultural clash. Zara couldn't stop thinking about Clark and the other human males she had encountered during the seminar. Her initial curiosity about human biology was evolving into something more complex, a blend of fascination and wariness. The Galactic Academy was a melting pot of species, each with its own culture and norms, but humans seemed to defy the expectations Zara had for a sapient species. Their brash confidence, coupled with an almost naive sense of determination, made them stand out. Later that evening, Zara met up with her close friends in the common area of their dormitory. They were all from different species, each one bringing a unique perspective to their conversations. Valo, a tall insectoid being from a hive world, clicked his mandibles as he greeted her. Sarah, a fellow Illyrian, noticed Zara's distracted expression immediately. "What's on your mind, Zara?" Sarah asked, her voice melodic as she sipped a glowing drink. Zara hesitated, not sure how to put her thoughts into words. "It's the humans," she finally admitted. "They're males, specifically. Did you know they're fertile year-round? It's strange, right?" Valo's antennae twitched in surprise. "Always fertile? That's highly inefficient for a species. How do they manage population control?" "They have various methods," Zara explained, recalling Professor Rack's lecture. "But it's not just that. They're so bold. One of them, a male named Clark, approached me after the seminar. He was so forward, so confident. I didn't know how to respond." Sarah chuckled. "Humans are notorious for that. They're a young species, still figuring out their place in the galaxy. But you have to admire their audacity. They're not afraid to push boundaries." Zara frowned. "But isn't that dangerous? What if their impulsiveness leads to conflict?" "It often does," Valo agreed, his voice a low buzz. "But it's also what drives their innovation. They're unpredictable, which makes them both fascinating and concerning." As the conversation continued, Zara's thoughts kept returning to Clark and the human male's strange allure. Despite her friend's reassurances, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to humans than met the eye. They were unlike any species she had encountered before, and she felt compelled to learn more about them, especially the way they interacted with other species. The next day, Zara decided to visit the Academy's library. It was a vast, multi-leveled structure filled with knowledge from every corner of the galaxy. If she wanted to understand humans, this was the place to start. As she wandered through the aisles, she found herself in the section dedicated to emerging species. There, nestled among volumes on various primitive races, was a comprehensive tome on humanity. Zara pulled the heavy book from the shelf and settled into a quiet corner to read. The pages were filled with detailed accounts of human history, culture, and biology. She read about their turbulent past, their wars, their triumphs, and their rapid advancement from a pre-industrial society to a space-faring civilization. What struck her most was the resilience that seemed to define them. Humans had faced countless challenges, both external and self-imposed, yet they had always found a way to survive, adapt, and thrive. As she delved deeper into the text, Zara began to understand why human males behaved the way they did. Their constant fertility was not just a biological quirk, it was a reflection of their species' need to persevere. In a universe full of dangers, they had evolved to be ever ready, always pushing forward, never waiting for the right time to act. Hours passed as Zara absorbed the information, and by the time she looked up, the library was nearly empty. The book had answered many of her questions, but it had also raised new ones. How do humans view themselves in relation to other species? Were they aware of how their behavior was perceived by others? As she returned the book to its place, Zara noticed a figure standing nearby. It was Clark, leaning casually against a bookshelf, a smirk on his face. "You're really diving deep into human studies, huh?" he remarked, his voice teasing yet curious. Zara felt a surge of annoyance. How long had he been watching her? "I'm just trying to understand your species better," she replied coolly. "You're quite different from what I'm used to." Clark shrugged. "Yeah, we get that a lot, but we're not as complicated as you think. We're just adaptable. We do what we have to survive." Zara's eyes narrowed. "And does that include flirting with every female you meet?" He chuckled. "Only the interesting ones." Zara wasn't sure whether to be flattered or insulted. "Is that why you approached me? Because I'm interesting?" "Partly," Clark admitted, his tone more serious now. "But also because I can tell you're curious about us, and curiosity can lead to some pretty interesting conversations." Zara hesitated, then nodded slowly. "You're right, I am curious, but I still don't fully understand your species' motivations. Why do you act the way you do? Why are you always pushing boundaries?" Clark's expression softened, his smirk fading. "Because we have to. The galaxy's a big, scary place, and if we don't push back, we'll get swallowed whole. We learned that lesson the hard way back on Earth. So now, wherever we go, we make sure we leave our mark." His words struck a chord with Zara. For the first time, she saw humans not as reckless or arrogant, but as a species driven by necessity. They weren't just trying to survive, they were trying to ensure they wouldn't be forgotten, that they wouldn't be erased from the galactic stage. Zara found herself nodding in agreement. "I think I understand now. You're not just reckless, you're determined. And maybe that's what makes you so compelling." Clark grinned again, though this time it was more genuine. "Glad to hear it. Maybe next time we can chat about something less academic, like where to find the best food in this place." Zara couldn't help but smile back. "Maybe," she said, her voice light. "But for now, I have more research to do." "Fair enough," Clark replied, turning to leave. "Catch you later, Blue." As he walked away, Zara felt a sense of satisfaction. She had taken the first step toward understanding humans, and in doing so, had discovered something new about herself as well. The cultural clash between her people and humans was real, but so was the potential for connection. As Zara gathered her things and headed back to her dorm, she realized that her journey into the complexities of human nature was far from over. There was still so much to learn, and she was eager to continue her exploration, both in the library and in her interactions with Clark. Unexpected alliances. Zara returned to her dormitory with her mind buzzing with thoughts about humans. She was beginning to appreciate their complexity, but there was still much that puzzled her. Their constant drive, their unrelenting determination, it was both admirable and unnerving. Yet, beneath their bold exterior, she sensed a vulnerability, a fear of being overwhelmed by the vastness of the galaxy. The next day, Zara attended her interspecies diplomacy class. The topic was cultural misunderstandings and their impact on galactic relations. As the professor spoke, Zara's thoughts kept drifting back to the conversations with Clark. His confidence, his casual demeanor, it all made sense now. Humans pushed boundaries because they had to. They had learned to survive in a hostile universe by being proactive, by taking risks. But what about when those risks led to conflict? As the class ended, Zara gathered her belongings and headed for the exit. She was surprised to see Clark waiting outside the classroom. He smiled as she approached, but there was something different in his expression, something more serious. "Hey, Blue," Clark greeted her, using the nickname he had given her. "Got a minute? There's something I need to talk to you about." Zara nodded, intrigued. "Sure. What's on your mind?" Clark led her to a quiet spot in the campus garden, away from prying eyes and ears. Once they were seated on a bench, he leaned forward, his expression earnest. "I didn't want to bring this up before," he began, "but there's been some tension between the human students and a few other species at the academy. I've heard some rumors, whispers that some of the more aggressive species are planning something against us. I thought you should know." Zara felt a chill run down her spine. What kind of rumors? Clark's eyes narrowed. Nothing concrete, but it sounds like a few groups see us as a threat. They don't like how quickly we're adapting, how we're making our presence known. There's talk of sabotaging our research projects, maybe even staging an accident during a training exercise. It's all very vague, but I've got a bad feeling about it. Zara's mind raced. She knew that tensions between species at the academy were not uncommon, but this felt different. If what Clark was saying was true, then the humans were in real danger. "Have you reported this to the academy authorities?" Clark shook his head. "Not yet. I don't have any solid evidence, and I don't want to cause a panic, but I thought you might be able to help. You're well respected here, and you've got connections with other species. Maybe you could do some digging, see if there's anything to these rumors." Zara considered his request. Getting involved could be risky, but she couldn't ignore the possibility that her new human friends were in danger. She nodded slowly. "I'll see what I can find out. But you need to be careful, Clark. If someone is targeting humans, you could be walking into a trap." Clark flashed a confident grin, though Zara could see the concern in his eyes. "Don't worry about me, Blue. I can handle myself. Just keep your ears open, okay?" Over the next few days, Zara discreetly reached out to her contacts among the other species at the academy. She kept the conversations casual, subtly steering them toward the topic of human students. It didn't take long for her to pick up on the underlying tension. A few species, particularly those with more rigid social structures, were indeed uneasy about the humans. They saw the humans' rapid adaptation and confidence as a threat to the established order. Zara's suspicions were confirmed when she overheard a conversation between two Tharnak students, a notoriously aggressive species known for their warrior culture. They were discussing a planned exercise that would involve human students, and the tone of their conversation left no doubt that it was meant to be more than just a friendly competition. Zara's heart raced as she realized the danger Clark and the other humans were in. She knew she had to act quickly, but she couldn't do it alone. She needed allies, someone who would help her expose the plot and protect the human students. She decided to approach Varlo, the insectoid being she had spoken with earlier. Despite his intimidating appearance, Varlo was known for his logical mind and fair judgment. If anyone could help her navigate this delicate situation, it was him. Zara found Varlo in the library, surrounded by stacks of data pads. He looked up as she approached, his antennae twitching in greeting. "Zara, what brings you here?" "I need your help," Zara said, lowering her voice. "I've uncovered something troubling. There's a plot against the human students, and I think the Tharnak are behind it." Varlo's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "That's a serious accusation. Do you have evidence?" "Not solid evidence, but I've overheard enough to know that something is being planned," Zara replied urgently. "If we don't do something, the humans could be in real danger." Varlo considered her words carefully. This could be a delicate situation. If we confront the Tharnak directly, it could escalate into a full-blown conflict. We need to handle this with caution. Zara nodded in agreement. "That's why I came to you. I need your help to expose the plot without causing a major incident. If we can gather more information, we might be able to stop it before it goes too far." Varlo agreed to assist her, and together they devised a plan. They would quietly gather more intelligence on the Tharnak's activities and report their findings to the Academy's Security Council. If they could present enough evidence, the authorities would be forced to take action. Over the next few days, Zara and Varlo worked in secret, gathering information from their contacts and keeping a close watch on the Tharnak. It was a tense and dangerous task, but they knew the stakes were too high to ignore. Finally, they had enough evidence to take to the Security Council. The council members were shocked by the severity of the plot and immediately launched an investigation. Thanks to Zara and Varlo's efforts, the Pharnax plan was foiled before it could be carried out. Several Pharnax students were expelled, and security measures were increased across the academy. Clark was grateful for Zara's help, though he tried to downplay the danger he had been in. "Looks like you saved our skins blue," he said with a grin. "Guess we owe you one." Zara smiled back, relieved that the crisis had been averted. "Just doing what needed to be done. But next time, try not to get yourself into so much trouble, okay?" Clark laughed. "No promises. We humans have a knack for finding trouble. But it's good to know we've got friends like you watching our backs." As they walked away from the Security Council chambers, Zara realized that her relationship with the humans had changed. They were no longer just an enigma to be studied. They were allies, partners in the complex dance of galactic relations. And while there were still many, when she arrived, Clark was already waiting, pacing back and forth. "Zara," he said urgently, "I've discovered something. There's a secret meeting scheduled for tonight at the old lab. I think it's connected to the faction we're investigating." Zara's eyes widened. "Are you sure? How did you find out?" Clark explained. "I overheard a conversation between some students. They were talking about a meeting here and mentioning something about final preparations. It sounds like they're planning something big." Zara took a deep breath, her mind racing. "We need to alert the authorities. If they're meeting here tonight, it's likely they're planning their attacks soon." Clark shook his head. "We need to be careful. If we just report this, they might go underground or change their plans. We should gather as much evidence as we can before making a move." Zara nodded, understanding the need for discretion. "Let's get in and observe. We need to confirm their intentions and get concrete evidence before we do anything." As night fell, Zara and Clark carefully approached the old research lab, making sure they weren't seen. They positioned themselves near a window where they could get a clear view inside. The room was dimly lit, and the sound of hushed voices reached their ears. Through the window, they saw a group of students from various species, including a few Pharnax. They were gathered around a table covered with maps and documents. The conversation was intense, and Zara strained to catch every word. "Tonight's operation is crucial," one of the Pharnax said, their voice tinged with excitement. "We'll strike at dawn, when the academy is most vulnerable." Zara's heart pounded as she realized the scale of the threat. This wasn't just a minor disruption. It was a coordinated attack designed to cause widespread chaos. Clark turned to Zara, his face grim. "We need to get this information to the Security Council immediately. This is bigger than we thought." Zara nodded, her resolve strengthening. "Let's go." They made their way back to the Academy's security office, their minds racing with the implications of what they had just witnessed. As they reported their findings, the security personnel sprang into action, preparing to thwart the planned attack. The following day, as the sun rose over the academy, the security forces were ready. The attackers were intercepted before they could execute their plan, and the threat was neutralized without any casualties. The students involved were taken into custody, and the academy's leadership praised Zara and Clark for their bravery and quick thinking. Zara and Clark stood together, relieved and exhausted. The crisis had been averted, but the experience had left a lasting impression on them both. "I guess we make a pretty good team," Clark said with a tired smile. Zara returned the smile, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. "We do. And I've learned that understanding others is more important than I ever realized. Sometimes it takes facing a crisis to see how interconnected we all are." As they walked away from the security office, Zara knew that their journey was far from over. The galaxy was a vast and complex place, full of challenges and opportunities. But with friends like Clark by her side, she felt ready to face whatever came next. Echoes of the past. The starship carrying Zara and Clark returned to the Galactic Academy amidst great fanfare. The discovery of the ancient ruins and the encoded message had sent ripples throughout the galactic community. Scientists, historians, and scholars eagerly awaited the detailed report and artifacts that Zara and Clark had brought back. The moment they disembarked, they were greeted by an enthusiastic crowd of reporters and colleagues. The Academy's leadership had organized a special presentation to showcase the findings, and Zara and Clark were invited to present their results. In the Grand Hall of the Academy, a large holographic projection displayed the ruins and artifacts they had discovered. The audience listened intently as Zara and Clark recounted their journey, detailing the ancient civilization's technology and the cryptic message they had uncovered. This message is a crucial piece of evidence that suggests our galaxy has experienced significant disruptions in its history, Zara explained. The cosmic event described in the message could have altered the development of various species and influenced the course of galactic history. Clark added, "We believe these disruptions may have created rifts in space-time, potentially affecting everything from planetary formation to species evolution. The implications are enormous and could reshape our understanding of the galaxy's past and future." The presentation was met with a mixture of awe and skepticism. Some scholars were excited by the potential for new research and discoveries, while others questioned the validity of the findings. The debate over the rifts and their implications sparked a wave of academic discussions and investigations. In the weeks that followed, Zara and Clark were inundated with requests for interviews, collaborative research proposals, and invitations to conferences. Their discovery had not only gained them recognition, but had also positioned them at the forefront of a new field of study. Despite the whirlwind of activity, Zara and Clark found time to reflect on their journey. They often met in the Academy's observatory, gazing at the stars and discussing the future. "I never imagined our discovery would create such a stir," Clark said one evening, sipping a drink as he looked out at the cosmic vista. "It's amazing to think about all the possibilities that lie ahead." Zara nodded, her gaze focused on the distant stars. "It's both exciting and daunting. We've opened a door to a new chapter in galactic history, but with it comes the responsibility to explore it carefully and thoughtfully." As they prepare for the next phase of their work, a new challenge emerged. The Academy's leadership proposed an ambitious project, an interspecies research initiative aimed at exploring the rifts and their effects on galactic civilizations. The project will involve collaboration between various species, each contributing their unique expertise. Zara and Clark were invited to lead the initiative, given their recent success and deep understanding of the subject. The project's goals were to study the rifts, develop theories about their impact, and search for potential solutions to mitigate any adverse effects. "Leading this initiative is a tremendous opportunity," Zara said, her excitement palpable. "It's a chance to make a real difference and work with experts from across the galaxy." Clark grinned, his eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. "And it's a chance to continue our exploration and uncover even more mysteries. I'm all in." As they prepared to embark on this new endeavor, Zara and Clark assembled a diverse team of scientists, historians, and engineers. Each member brought a different perspective and skill set, creating a dynamic and collaborative environment. The team's first mission was to establish a research outpost in a stable region of space near the rift's suspected epicenter. The outpost would serve as a base for conducting experiments, analyzing data, and developing theories. The journey to the research outpost was both thrilling and challenging. Zara and Clark worked closely with their team to set up the facilities and begin their investigations. The initial findings were promising, revealing intriguing patterns and anomalies associated with the rifts. As the research progressed, Zara and Clark faced new questions and challenges. The more they learned about the rifts, the more complex the situation became. The rifts appeared to be linked to cosmic phenomena, including gravitational distortions and temporal fluctuations. One day, while analyzing data from the outpost, Zara made a startling discovery. The rifts seemed to be connected to a network of ancient structures scattered throughout the galaxy. These structures, similar to the ruins they had found on the planet, suggested a hidden history of galactic civilization. Inspired by their findings, Zara and Clark decided to take a proactive approach. They organized a forum at the Academy, inviting representatives from various species to discuss historical patterns and how they could apply the lessons learned to their current challenges. The forum was a success, bringing together diverse perspectives and fostering a deeper understanding of the galaxy's complex history. It also strengthened the bonds between species, creating new opportunities for collaboration and cooperation. As the forum concluded, Zara and Clark stood together, reflecting on their journey. They had uncovered valuable insights and contributed to improving relations within the galactic community. "I think we've made a difference," Clark said, his tone hopeful. Zara smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "We have. And we've learned that understanding our past is crucial for shaping a better future." As they looked out over the bustling academy, Zara and Clark knew that their journey was far from over. The galaxy was full of challenges and mysteries waiting to be explored. But with their newfound understanding and their growing alliance, they felt ready to face whatever lay ahead. A new frontier. With the success of the forum behind them, Zara and Clark felt a renewed sense of purpose. The forum had not only bridged gaps between species, but had also provided a fresh perspective on how to approach future conflicts and collaborations. The Galactic Academy buzzed with excitement and optimism as students and faculty alike began to embrace the idea of learning from the past to improve the present. One day, Zara and Clark received an unexpected message from the Academy's administration. They had been selected to participate in an exploratory mission to a newly discovered star system on the fringes of the galaxy. The mission was part of a broader initiative to expand galactic knowledge and foster interspecies cooperation. The selection was a testament to their recent achievements and the trust the Academy had in their abilities. Zara was thrilled by the opportunity. The idea of exploring uncharted territories and uncovering new knowledge was exactly what she had always dreamed of. Clark, on the other hand, was eager for the adventure and the chance to test his skills in a new environment. Ready for a new challenge? Clark asked with a grin as they prepared for the mission. Zara's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Absolutely. This is going to be an incredible experience." The day of departure arrived, and Zara and Clark boarded the starship designed for the exploratory mission. The vessel was state-of-the-art, equipped with advanced technology and a diverse crew from various species. The mission was to investigate the newly discovered star system, catalog potential habitable planets, and assess any signs of intelligent life. As the ship left the Academy's orbit and entered the uncharted space, Zara and Clark marveled at the vastness of the galaxy stretching out before them. The stars seemed to twinkle with endless possibilities. Their journey took them to the outer reaches of the system, where they encountered a series of intriguing celestial phenomena. One planet, in particular, caught their attention. It was a lush, Earth-like world with rich biospheres and promising signs of potential habitation. The crew sat down on the planet's surface to conduct initial surveys. Zara was in her element, collecting samples and analyzing the planet's unique flora and fauna. Clark, ever the explorer, conducted his own observations and documented the planet's features. As they worked, they stumbled upon something extraordinary, a series of ancient ruins buried beneath the planet's surface. The ruins appeared to be the remnants of an advanced civilization that had long since vanished. Zara's heart raced with excitement as she examined the ruins. "This is incredible. These structures could offer insights into a civilization that predates any known species in this galaxy." Clark nodded, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's like discovering a piece of history that no one knew existed. This could change our understanding of the galaxy's history." The team spent days exploring the ruins, uncovering artifacts and deciphering inscriptions. The civilization's technology and knowledge were far beyond what they had previously encountered. The inscriptions hinted at a once great empire that had faced a cataclysmic event, leading to its downfall. As they delved deeper, Zara and Clark discovered something that shocked them. A message from the civilization's last survivors, encoded in a crystal that had survived the ages. The message spoke of a cosmic event that had altered the fabric of space-time, creating rifts between different dimensions. Echoes of the past. With the immediate threat neutralized and the Academy safe once more, Zara and Clark found themselves catching their breath and reflecting on their recent experiences. The intensity of their mission had forged a strong bond between them, and they both knew that their shared adventure had changed them in ways they hadn't anticipated. As the days passed, the Academy returned to its usual rhythm. The students resumed their studies, and the atmosphere slowly shifted back to a more normal pace. However, Zara and Clark couldn't shake the feeling that the events they had been part of were only a small piece of a larger puzzle. One evening, as they sat in the common area of the dormitory, Zara and Clark talked about their experiences. Zara was particularly introspective, her mind still reeling from the intensity of the recent events. "You know, Clark," Zara said, her voice contemplative, "it's strange how these events have made me think about the broader implications of our actions. It's not just about immediate threats or conflicts. There are deeper patterns at play, echoes from the past that seem to shape our present." Clark looked thoughtful. "What do you mean?" "Well," Zara began, "I've been studying the history of the galactic community. There are so many instances where conflicts and alliances have shaped the galaxy in profound ways. Sometimes it feels like we're repeating old patterns without fully understanding why." Clark raised an eyebrow. "You're suggesting that the problems we're facing now are linked to something that happened before." "Exactly," Zara said. "It's like the galaxy has its own rhythm, and sometimes we're caught in the echoes of past events. If we can understand these patterns, we might be able to avoid repeating mistakes and build better relationships between species." Clark nodded slowly. "That makes sense. History has a way of influencing the present, even if we don't always realize it. Maybe our recent experience is a part of that larger pattern." As Zara and Clark discussed their thoughts, Varlo approached them, his antennae twitching with curiosity. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation," Varlo said. "It seems like you're contemplating some deep questions about our place in the galaxy." Zara nodded. "Yes, we're trying to understand how the past influences our current situation. Do you have any insights on this?" Varlo's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Insectoid cultures place great importance on history and tradition. We believe that understanding our past helps us navigate the present. If you're looking into historical patterns, I might have something that could be of interest." He handed them a datapad with access to a repository of ancient records and historical accounts. "This is a collection of historical documents from various species. It includes records of significant conflicts, alliances, and events that shaped the galactic community. It might provide some context for the patterns you're observing." Zara and Clark eagerly accepted the datapad and thanked Varlo. That night, they delved into the historical records, searching for connections and patterns that might shed light on their current situation. Among the documents, they found accounts of ancient conflicts between species, shifts in political power, and the rise and fall of influential alliances. It was a fascinating yet daunting task, trying to piece together the complex tapestry of galactic history. One document in particular caught Zora's attention. It detailed an old conflict between the Illyrians and a now-extinct species, the Voltari. The Voltari had been known for their aggressive expansionism and had once posed a significant threat to the Illyrians. The records suggested that the conflict had ended with a fragile peace, established through a series of diplomatic negotiations and concessions. Zara's eyes widened as she read further. "Clark, look at this. It seems like the Voltari were very similar to the Tharnak in their aggressive behavior. The peace we have now might be influenced by the outcomes of this ancient conflict." Clark leaned over to examine the document. "So you're saying that the patterns we're seeing today might be echoes of past conflicts?" "Exactly," Zara replied. "If we understand how these past conflicts were resolved, we might find insights into how to manage current tensions." They continued their research, piecing together historical events and drawing parallels to the present situation. They discovered that many conflicts and alliances had been shaped by similar patterns of aggression, diplomacy, and compromise. One document mentioned a diplomatic envoy who had successfully mediated between warring factions by leveraging their shared interests and finding common ground. The envoy's approach had led to a lasting peace that had influenced subsequent galactic relations. This could be a breakthrough, Zara said, her voice filled with excitement. If these structures are interconnected, they might hold the key to understanding the rifts and their impact. Clark agreed, his face reflecting the seriousness of the situation. We need to investigate these structures further. They could provide critical insights into the cosmic event and its effects. The team set out on a series of missions to locate and explore the ancient structures. Each discovery added a new layer to their understanding of the galaxy's history and the forces shaping its present. As they continued their work, Zara and Clark developed a deeper appreciation for the complexities of their mission. They were not just exploring the galaxy, they were uncovering the threads that wove its history together. Their journey had become a quest to understand the fundamental forces that shaped the galaxy and its diverse civilizations. Their partnership had grown stronger through the challenges they faced, and their bond of trust and mutual respect had deepened. Together, they were charting a course into the unknown, driven by a shared curiosity and determination to uncover the galaxy's hidden truths. As they gazed out at the vast expanse of space from their research outpost, Zara and Clark knew that their adventure was far from over. The galaxy held many more secrets waiting to be discovered, and they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. The Rift's revelation. The research outpost hummed with activity as Zara, Clark, and their diverse team continued their investigations into the mysterious rifts. Their recent findings had been both astonishing and perplexing. The interconnected network of ancient structures hinted at a long-lost galactic civilization, but deciphering their purpose and impact remained a monumental task. One evening, as Zara was poring over the latest data, Clark approached her with an excited expression. "You're not going to believe this," he said, holding up a data pad. "We've picked up something unusual from the sensors. It's coming from one of the structures we haven't fully explored yet." Zara looked up, her curiosity piqued. "What kind of unusual?" Clark showed her the readings, which displayed strange fluctuations in energy levels and temporal anomalies. "It looks like there's a significant energy pulse emanating from the structure. We need to check it out." Zara nodded, her heart racing with anticipation. "Let's gather the team and prepare for an expedition. This could be the breakthrough we've been waiting for." The team assembled and set out for the ancient structure, a massive edifice partially buried beneath an ice-covered moon. The structure was different from the others they had explored. Its design was more intricate, and its surface was covered in unfamiliar symbols and patterns. As they entered the structure, Zara and Clark led the way, their sensors guiding them through the dimly lit corridors. The air was cool and still, and the walls seemed to hum with a faint, rhythmic energy. They arrived at a central chamber, where the energy pulse was strongest. The chamber was vast, with a towering central obelisk covered in glowing symbols. Zara and Clark approached the obelisk, carefully examining the inscriptions. "These symbols," Zara said, her eyes wide with recognition. "They match some of the ones we saw in the ruins on the planet. But there's something new here, a sequence that I don't understand." Clark touched a control panel on the side of the obelisk, activating a holographic display. The display showed a star map with a series of coordinates and a timeline of cosmic events. "This looks like a record of significant galactic events," Clark said, studying the map. "But why would an ancient civilization keep such detailed records? And what's the purpose of these rifts?" Zara studied the hologram, her mind racing. It's possible that the civilization was tracking cosmic disruptions caused by the rifts. Maybe they were trying to prevent or mitigate the effects. As they continued to analyze the data, a new message appeared on the display. It was a recording, projected as a holographic figure of an alien being, a member of the ancient civilization. "Greetings to those who find this message," the figure began. "We are the Viridian, the keepers of cosmic knowledge. The rifts are not mere anomalies. They are the remnants of a cosmic catastrophe that nearly destroyed our galaxy. We attempted to contain the damage, but the rifts continued to spread." The message went on to describe the catastrophe as a chain reaction triggered by an ancient experiment that had gone awry. The experiment was intended to harness a new form of energy, but had inadvertently created the rifts, causing widespread disruptions in space-time. Our civilization fell, but we left behind these structures as a warning and a guide, the hologram continued. "To those who discover this message, we implore you to study the rifts and find a way to restore balance. The fate of the galaxy depends on your success." The recording ended, leaving Zara and Clark in stunned silence. The implications of the message were profound. The rifts were not just historical curiosities, but active threats that needed to be addressed. "We need to act quickly," Zara said, her voice resolute. "If these rifts are causing cosmic disruptions, we must find a way to stabilize them before they create more damage." Clark nodded in agreement. "We'll need to collaborate with experts from across the galaxy. The solution will require a coordinated effort." The team returned to the research outpost with renewed determination. Zara and Clark began drafting a comprehensive plan to address the rifts, drawing on their findings and the knowledge from the Viridian message. They reached out to the Galactic Academy and allied species, proposing a joint initiative to study and stabilize the rifts. The response from the galactic community was overwhelmingly positive. Scientists, engineers, and diplomats from various species joined forces, contributing their expertise to the effort. The project was named the Galactic Stabilization Initiative, and its mission was to restore balance and prevent further disruptions. As the initiative took shape, Zara and Clark found themselves at the center of a collaborative effort that spanned the galaxy. Their work brought together diverse species and perspectives, united by a common goal. In the midst of their work, Zara and Clark shared a moment of reflection. Standing on the observation deck of the outpost, they gazed out at the stars, contemplating the journey that had brought them together. "We've come a long way," Clark said, his voice filled with awe. "From an unexpected revelation to leading a galaxy-wide initiative, it's been quite a ride." Zara smiled, her gaze steady. "It has, and it's only the beginning. There's still so much to learn and discover, but together, we can face whatever challenges come our way." As the Galactic Stabilization Initiative moved forward, Zara and Clark continued to explore the mysteries of the rifts and the galaxy. Their partnership had evolved from a simple academic curiosity to a profound collaboration that bridged species and united them in a shared mission. The galaxy, with all its wonders and complexities, awaited their next adventure. And as Zara and Clark embarked on this new chapter, they knew that their journey of discovery, growth, and exploration was far from over. Epilogue. The story of Zara and Clark became a legend among the stars, a tale of unexpected alliances, profound discoveries, and the indomitable spirit of exploration. Their work had not only reshaped the understanding of galactic history, but had also fostered a new era of cooperation and unity among the galaxy's diverse civilizations. As the Galactic Stabilization Initiative continued its mission, the legacy of Zara and Clark's journey inspired future generations to embrace curiosity, seek knowledge, and work together to overcome the challenges that lay ahead. And amidst the stars, their story remained a shining beacon of hope and possibility, guiding the galaxy toward a brighter future.